Hi teachers, I'm going to be introducing the Vocab Dominoes activity that I use in my classroom when I am working on creating vocabulary word connections with my students. Here I'm on my demo tab. This is created just so I have a template and so I can show you guys how I create my boxes, edit them, and all those things, as well as show you how the activity works. For Vocab Dominoes, the goal is to have the students draw connections between their vocabulary words. So they're not just trying to memorize a definition, and that will help them, creating those connections will help them to remember those words, hopefully. I often have my students tell me what the two words have in common. I go over strict rules that it must be more than they both start with C, but rather something about the definition. And you can use this in different ways as well. You could have the students tell you differences. There are a lot of different ways you can do this. And I have on the teacher tab, which is here, I go over some ideas as well for how to use this in the classroom other than this one strict activity. So, first, I will show you how to edit the words. Now these boxes are, the text and the shape are grouped together. So that means when you move one, they will move together. So the way that you can edit the word, I'm going to double click on the word text, and now you can see that is highlighted. And I'll double click in there again, and now I can actually change the word. So I'm just gonna add in another animal. So let's go ahead and do hedgehog. Okay, so now if you look here, these are not aligned properly. We have the word hanging over. So if I just double click on the word hedgehog, I can now move that independently from the box and move it to the center. So that is how you can edit the words. Hopefully I will provide this template to Jeremy and Megan, and you can use it and edit it and customize it for your class. If not, I will show you how to create new boxes as well. So if you already have the template, one way to create a new box, just click on it and then click copy, then click off into the space somewhere, and then click paste. So now I have a new box, and if I want to edit that, I'm gonna click on this paintbrush here. If you want it to be a different color or anything, you're first gonna have to ungroup them. So I'll click ungroup right here, and then I'll just click on the box. I'll click that paintbrush again, and now I can change the color. So you can change the color to whatever you want. You will want to be sure to group them again. If you're on your iPad, just use both fingers to click on the word and the shape. So one finger on the word, one finger on the shape, and then click group. If you are on your computer, you can just highlight both together and then click group. So that is how I make a new shape when I already have one to start with. If you were trying to make one from scratch, you would click on this plus sign here. Then you would click on shapes. Scroll here over to basic, and then click on the square or whatever shape you want. I like to use the square for this specific activity. So now I have my shape. Then I'm going to click on the plus sign again, and I'm going to click on text. Okay, so now I can put in my word, giraffe, but my word is white and my box is white. So I'm going to go ahead and change the color of that really quickly, and then drag my word over here, and choose my text. Now I can center it. Okay, so those are two ways to be able to make a new box. So now I'll go ahead and talk about the actual activity. My students are gonna work in partners. Because of COVID, I have them work on their own iPads, but also because I want them to each be engaged and listening to each other and working together. So whatever one partner does on their iPad, the other partner is going to mirror that on their own. So say I am partner 1. Partner 1 is going to choose 2 words to connect. It can be any word they want, and this is the only time 2 words will be chosen because this is the first turn, okay? So if I chose, we'll say dog, I'm gonna drag it over here, give myself plenty of space away from the original space so I have room to build, and I'm gonna connect that with cat. And then I am going to create a text box. So I showed you guys how to do that earlier. We're gonna click this plus sign. We're gonna click on the word text, and I'm going to type how dog and cat are related. Both are household pets. Now I'll click on it and rotate it and put it right here on the border of the 2 boxes, and I know that that's how those 2 words are related. I also let my students write and use the pen if they would rather write how they're related. A lot of them prefer to type it because it's a little more neat though. Then it's partner 2's turn. So they're gonna pick one word and connect it to one of the existing words, kind of like when you play Dominoes. So if they chose, let's say, goldfish, okay? Cat and a goldfish, what do they have in common? We could use the same thing. So I'm just gonna copy and paste the same definition, turn it. Cats and goldfish are both household pets. Now it would be the first partner's turn again. And let's say they chose snake. So this partner, again, they can put this anywhere they want. So they have the option of putting it here if they want to connect to goldfish. That's what I'm going to connect it to. Here or here. Okay? So if I put snake here, it's actually connected to goldfish and dog. So I make my students tell me the connection to both of those words. So I'm going to still copy and paste this because it's easy. And I'm just going to edit it. So for goldfish and snake, neither have legs. Then I'm going to turn, nope, I messed it up. Here we go. I'm going to turn this and rotate it. And I'm gonna have to zoom in to do that. There we go. And place it along this border. But don't forget, I also have to do snake and dog. So I can say, again, you probably don't want your students to use the same over and over again, but I'm just doing this as a demo. So both are household pets. Okay, so the tricky part is just to make sure that if the student is connecting a word to more than one word, that they actually describe how they are related to both of them. Sometimes you'll have students who avoid that altogether and you end up with just one long line of words, and that's okay. So then when they're done, they would use all these words and they would have a little Dominoes layout. That's when I have my students take a screenshot and turn that into Google Classroom. So that is Vocab Dominoes. For my students, when I give them the Vocab Dominoes to do, we have directions here. So I make sure I have written directions. It is kind of complex, so I also always include a video. And this video
to play this vocab
shows my students an actual example of me completing Vocab Dominoes so that they can understand visually how this is done. So if you guys have the template and you prefer to use my video, I'm totally fine with that. Obviously, I wouldn't use just these animal words in biology. We've done things with like biochemistry where they had to describe the connections between, proteins and lipids and carbohydrates and monomers and polymers and all those things. And it's a good way for my students to make sure they actually are understanding the definition given rather than just memorizing it. So last thing, if you go to this teacher tab, I have some different examples of how we could use this. I do always make my students write the connections between the cards, like in number 1. You can have them do this on their own iPad or share. That's totally up to you. They can always share the screenshot with each other. Then we can also place the words in group of 4 and have them do odd one out. So you can have them already arranged in a group of 4 and describe which word does not belong and things like that. That's a whole nother activity, but it's using the same style of the words in the square boxes and everything. So if you have any questions, I'm happy to help. Amanda Hall, just let me know, and good luck.